Hello, everyone. This is Dawn. I am here with a short message that corresponds directly to the image that I will use as the cover for this video. I'll just dive right in with it. The photo is called Angel of Infinite Mercy. It's from my Alterations Most True collection, and I actually took this photo last week. I was guided directly to get my camera, go in the house and get my camera where I'm staying and take a few pictures, and one of the things I was guided to take a picture of was this red swirly ball that at the time I took the picture I didn't realize actually what I had captured here. And then I've had a series of deep dreams and deep meditations and that sort of thing beginning midweek last week that came and through this morning, and that came along with several phrases and references to poems that I had written back in 2011 and 2012 from my Awake collection. And I will read those in just a moment. But back to the photo, I was guided to take these series of photos, and then, I forgot about them. They were on my camera, and this morning, after waking from another pretty cosmic level dream in terms of epic battles and that sort of thing, of the dark and light, and then seeing some beautiful familiar faces, and being given a quick message in terms of the angel of infinite mercy. I was guided to find this specific image. They reminded me of the red ball, and I knew what they were talking about. This is out in the backyard of the place I'm staying. So I went and found the pictures, and I was surprised to see when I pulled up this picture that, there was this reflection that the camera had caught in the top right. Looks like a little angel being of light, and she looks like she's in the midst of a purple, portal like shape that's coming down over this matrix-like red swirling seas of all sorts of things, and there's a feeling in with the intensity of the background, although there is to me the impression of an infinity loop, but there is also the feeling of like dragons and darkness and uncertainty and maybe even anger and rage and instability in some ways. And then you look at the right-hand side and you see the little light being. And then if you look below that, I really loved how in the photo it captured the reflection of this another colored swirly thing that's in the yard. And it captured the reflection in such a way that too looks as if, it is a held in a circle and a being that is rising up to meet this angel of infinite mercy. So when I found this image, it just totally the message that I had been given in meditation earlier totally seemed to fit perfectly. And I'll read that with you. It's just about 4 or 5 sentences. The message was this, and I wrote it down, and I'll just read it here. When suddenly things happen and you feel as if you have awoken to your false reality, or you are trapped in a world you no longer recognize, be still. Go within. There you will find an angel of infinite mercy, a dancing light rising up to assist you in creating a new way forward. Keep your eyes fixed on all that is good and holy. Let all else fall away. So that was a very short message that came through, but felt very pure and like potent and necessary to share with you as soon as possible. I do believe it pertains to the larger collective unfolding, as well as to those of us who are, twin souls, or here to represent the light and to be the light, and to do that through the path of sacred partnership. I believe that this pertains to us in a unique way. So what was interesting to me, so that was the message itself. What was interesting to me as well is that these phrases, these poems from my earlier writing that have been really, really present for me, seem to be linked to this message, and I'm feeling that it's sort of a 4 to 6 week period. I'm not quite clear on what's coming down the pike, or what this what specifically. But I want to read you the poems, and I'll put the text below as well in a link. It's from my collection Awake. The first poem is called A Time Out of Time. It says this: comes a time out of time in a dream right as rain. On that day I soar, make my way to love's full bloom beyond this gloom. From sorrow's seed, peace meets my need and circles back to close my lack. Comes a time out of time in a dream right as rain. So two things strike me about the fact that this has been so present with me, and about this next, little period here of that is most definitely about seeking that angel of infinite mercy and knowing that you are that dancing light rising up and keeping your eyes fixed on all that is good and holy. A couple things strike me about this particular poem that's been, kind of in my heart and awareness for the last week or so. It is cyclical in nature. The beginning is the same as the end. Comes a time out of time in a dream right as rain. And it's a very simple poem. And then in the center there, this idea that we're making our way to love's full bloom beyond this gloom. And then this idea that from sorrow's seed, peace meets my need and circles back to close my lack. So just consider that for a moment. From sorrow's seed, peace meets my need. So look for the peace. Look for the love beyond. Look for the love's full bloom beyond the gloom. Look for the peace that is there. It's born of sorrow's seed. So that was the first poem. The second poem is called All That Is Good and Holy. And I was surprised. All that's been running around in my heart, tumbling around for me, is this phrase, all that is good and holy. And then this image of alabaster angels in that phrase. And I actually didn't even know that this was from a poem until this morning when I went to find A Time Out of Time poem. I saw a title, list of titles in this poetry collection that I released back in 2012, and one of them was called All That Is Good and Holy. And sure enough, the Alabaster Angels is from that poem. So I will just read that poem now. All that is good and holy. Hovered in a cave we wait for forecasted fall of light through 3 days' darkness foretold. Thunder in highest heavens, a ruptured sky releases collected tears, rage of years. Rain licks the lip of our cave, world goes dark, and a low hum surrenders to strange silence. We do all we know to do and cling tight to each other, release fear, search for lost love. Earth splits, but heaven opens. These humble bodies become pure, living sacrifice as alabaster angels round bathe us in a golden light. Twin souls dance in waves of grace. We give ourselves wholly to each other, to spirit, to all that is good and holy. Protected, refined, perfected, we fold into love made manifest as new day breaks. So again, so interesting to me with this, the images of, hovered in a cave and this rage of years, this sort of a breaking, but a strange silence and a, kind of a pause. So, and then of course the beautiful scene of the angels bathing us in a golden light and twin souls dancing in a waves of grace. I actually didn't really remember writing about, in that sort of language this early on, because this poem was written back in probably 2010, 2011, because this collection was released in 2012. So that is all that is good and holy. And it does, feel very much, again, back to that short message, keep your eyes fixed upon all that is good and holy, let all else fall away. I do have a sense that, they're, either in our individual dynamics or collectively, and I actually think I'm really feeling the collective part pretty strongly here, that, there have been this series of revelations going on that we're all, aware of, in various sectors and pertaining to various false constructs or contaminated systems or just belief structures that really don't serve us individually or collectively. That's been happening, right? And I feel like, we're in this passage. And again, it's very important to protect the seeds of light that we come bearing and to trust in love's full bloom beyond the gloom, to really know that we are in a time out of time and in a dream right as rain, and that this in the poem it's called a fall of light, but I would also call it a rise of light and a reign of light has been something that has long been foretold, and that there are, we are encircled right now by those alabaster angels, and they are of an infinite number, and that angel of infinite mercy is right there with you right now, whatever's going on in your life. Much love.